So I was just reminiscing about some of the best women in anime because there is few and far between. But then when I was thinking of some, there's actually like a whole bunch. And by a whole bunch, I mean a handful. But there are some, so I wanted to highlight them today. So I wanted to talk about 5 of my favorite women characters in anime, specifically Shounen. To start, we have Arya the Scarlet Ammo. Arya is my girl. Oh my gosh, guys. When I tell you that I love everything about her, she's just so impressive, she's so cool, she's so funny. Like, I would actually cosplay her because I deem her cosplay worthy. She's not a stupid female character, she's not useless, she's literally the protagonist of her show, and she carries that title well. The first time I fell in love with Arya is when the first episode aired and she is falling from the sky. She has a parachute and then she lands on a bike with a gun. Yes, a bike with a active shooting rapid fire gun. So she's already pretty awesome if you could do that. And so in her world, she is becoming a bootay. And a bootay is an armed detective that uses weapons and or magic to solve cases and to solve problems. So as these bootay are detectives, of course they can fight, use guns, they know defensive driving, they're very prepared and they're well equipped. And one of the main reasons why I like Arya is because she can fight. I am so tired of just having women characters be healers or something of that nature, but Arya can actually fight and get into the field. She could do hand-to-hand combat and she could use weapons. And that's how she got her title, Arya the Quadra, because she can use 2 swords and 2 guns. And when you guys watch her fight and interchange in these weapons, it is so cool. That takes actual skill, training, years of practice, and she's so fast at it. There's one particular fight scene in which she showcases her skills, and it's just so mesmerizing to watch. It's how can she do all those things? And you're just engulfed into her fight style, into her battle style. You just want her to win. And she's just so amazing, especially on the battlefield. But now into some personal stuff. In the show, she is looking for a partner and does eventually find one, and his name is Kenji, but as she likes to call him, her slave. So she would be considered your classic tsundere, your classic hothead, but in reality, she really does have a good head on her shoulders and very good instincts. In one particular episode, she had a feeling that if they didn't do something or if they didn't catch a certain person, something bad would happen. And Kenji was like, oh no, it's nothing, it's fine. The sniper girl told us everything's okay. Everything's perfectly fine. And then later in that episode, it turns out that Arya was correct the whole time. Something did happen. I believe someone got kidnapped, how she said someone would get kidnapped, and that led to a whole nother type of situation. So she has very good instincts, and she does trust in herself, which I absolutely love. I love characters who love themselves, who trust themselves. And she's very much if he's not going to help me, or if no one's going to help me, or no one's going to join me, I could do this by myself. She does not depend on another person to live her life or accomplish a mission, because she is on a mission, whether it's a hired mission or a personal mission. She does have a personal mission in which that goes into the story and plot line of how her mom is in jail right now, and she's trying to free her mom because I believe she was wrongly framed or wrongly persecuted. So she's trying to do that and bring evidence in to prove that her mom is innocent. So if she has to move faster without a person or leave them behind or even kill them, she's willing to do that to accomplish her main goal. And I love how she has that. That's her center. That's her purpose right now, is to free her mom and get back with her family. And I love that depth about her. But going back to Kenji, that is that is her love interest. She definitely has feelings for him, but she calls him slave and servant and stuff like that. And Kenji he's falling for her slowly but surely. And in a particular scene, one of my favorite scenes, Kenji is in an actual physical locker in the girls' locker room. And all the girls come in, they're getting undressed, about to change their clothes, and he's unfazed, And then Arya comes in. and she starts slowly taking off her stockings. And then you just see blood drip from his nose. And it was just like, oh my God, like that's how you that's how you show like attraction and love without having to say anything. Because out of all the women in that room, he did not get attracted, or his body did not respond until he's seen Arya take off her stocking. And oh my God, I just love that scene so much. So I really enjoy watching those scenes and those moments that have the romantic part of it with her and Kenji, but also the actual plot with her and her mom. And then Kenji's family is also into that plot as well. And another girl's family is also in that plot as well. And how all those things mix together to form a really good story that I always watch, that I'm surprised almost every time, that I could feel emotions from and get happy and excited, and I'm blushing myself. So that's the type of story Arya the Scarlet is. And of course she has her own catchphrase, and she always tells characters like Kenji or the blonde hair girl this, and it is, "I'm gonna pump you full of holes." The next character on my list is Mikota Misaka from A Certain Scientific Railgun. Also my girl. All the women on this list are my girl. Okay, I have high respect for them. I will cosplay them. I will fight for them. I will watch their show over again just because they're an amazing character. They're so well written. They're so in depth. They have so much potential, and I just love it. And with Makoto Misaka in A Certain Scientific Railgun, I love her. I love the show. I love the Esper world. I watch the different side stories of the Esper world. I just love this whole type of franchise. So of course, I have to start off with the fighting. Mikota Misaka can fight. Yes, she is a bad mama jamma, okay? Like, she's very dangerous. Okay, if you push her to a certain extent, she's very dangerous and she's very clever. That's also the very scary thing about her. So I love like all her fight scenes, of course, and because they have psychic abilities in the Esper world, the fights are very interesting. They're very unpredictable. They're very chaotic in a sense, and I think that brings so much. It brings a certain type of element, a certain type of feeling when you go in watching A Certain Scientific Railgun or the certain series. If you can expect that. One of my favorite fight scenes is when she's fighting another Esper, and I believe she uses dolls as bombs, and Misaka is so creative when she fights and so clever. Like, the girl with the dolls drew some lines on the ground, and then Misaka was like dodging them. Then she was jumping on the ceiling, which is my favorite part. She's always jumping on the walls, and she's just dodging them. Then she's on the rails, and then she's very ruthless when she fights as well. Like, she will take you out, which is the scary part that the girl with the dolls did not know. She thought she could play with her name, but you cannot. So that's one of my favorite fight scenes. And then getting back into the Esper world, Misaka is a level 5 Electro Master Esper. That's very cool already. Like, I know, like, I'm already impressed. As you could tell, Espers are ranked from 0 to 5, and 5 is the most dangerous and extremely powerful. So of course, when you are an extremely powerful person, other people have to challenge you. Woo, of course. So there are other people in this world that have Esper powers, but a rarity is level 5 Espers. And a certain level 5 Esper that is basically her nemesis slash enemy slash he's always in almost every iteration of this is Accelerator. Very important character. He is also level 5 or level 6 or something. He's very high up and also extremely dangerous, crazy, and psychopathic. Like how I said, people are going to try to challenge you. That's what these scientists do to Misaka. They challenge her, but also they take advantage of her because she is a level 5 Esper. And they have done things to her that she finds out later in the story that makes her want to like destroy all the evidence, destroy their laboratory, and it's very understandable. So right now we have Accelerator and then the scientist up against her. But because of the scientist, greed, their ill intentions, their selfishness, they end up creating something. Eventually that something makes Misaka grow an attachment to it. And what they created is what Misaka calls little sisters. And it all makes sense once you watch it. They're called little sisters, and they're also a big part of the story, and she has an attachment with one of them, or all of them really. But one of the other major fight scenes slash plot points slash a major fight you can look up on YouTube is the fight between Misaka and Accelerator when something happens to the little sister. Okay, that's a big deal, and you really get to see the full extent of her powers. And Accelerator's powers too, but Misaka is very powerful, she's very smart, and she's very driven to survival instincts in a sense. So because she's basically an electromaster, she controls electricity, she can control metal, shoot items, she can conduct electricity through many items, and of course she could run / stick on walls if the walls are metal of any sort, which is very cool. So in her fight scene, she uses all of these elements. And a special signature move that Misaka uses is called a railgun, in which she can shoot tons of power into an object, which is usually a coin, and make a railgun, make an actual blast. It's very powerful, and I just love the name railgun. I think it fits her perfectly. I even believe her Esper name that the system classifies her as is railgun, and sometimes I call her railgun as well because I think it's just so cool, and I would never have thought of a railgun to name a signature move or to name a power. So now continuing on into her as a character, as a person, she can also be considered a tsundere, but like I said, she's very clever but also very compassionate when it comes to her friends. She has a lot of empathy, as you will see, and when she does act arrogant or mean, it's towards the enemy, and it's always in a very powerful, confident, threatening way. Like one scene, there's this dude who is targeting her friends, and it reminds you of the kill or threatening scene, another one of my favorite scenes. And she goes up behind the guy and basically tells him, if you ever try to hurt my friends again, I will find you and I will kill you. And I love that scene so much. It truly shows how far she's willing to go. That yes, I am, I believe a middle school, high school, whatever school student who is caring, compassionate. We could run around and search for chickens and go to the cafe, but I am willing to end your life if you do something where you step across a line. And then one other thing I love about Railgun is that you could tell it's time for business when she has her baseball cap on, her shorts on, and her sneakers. That's the go-to espionage outfit. Whenever it's time to snoop around, gather some evidence, some data, steal something, get down and dirty, fight people, which most of her fights are in this outfit, she puts that baseball cap on and you know it's on. And I love that about her. I love seeing that fit. Because she be stepping out, she'd be running, then she'd be running on walls, then she'd be jumping off across the place on top of buildings. And oh my gosh, I just get so excited when I see the outfit because I know something's about to really go down. My other girl, Maka from Soul Eater. Oh my god, Maka. I believe when I was watching her, I was kind of young. She was the go-to favorite woman character, okay? Because there wasn't a lot during that time, but Maka was always one of them. She is the protagonist, and she does lead the group that she is in. So in this world, she is a weapons meister in which she controls a person who could turn into a weapon. And I believe her mom was the same way. Her mom was very powerful, a weapons meister, and her dad was the weapon. Her and her dad kind of fell out because I believe her mom is dead now, and she still feels a certain type of way about that. The other characters in the story, Death the Kid and Black Star, they're also my dudes. I love them. Also love Black Star's weapon. I forgot her name. The girl with the ponytail. And I also enjoy Death the Kid's two weapons. His guns, his twin guns. The two sisters. They're pretty funny. But the story revolves around these three pairs, and they have to collect 99 human souls and one witch soul to turn the weapons into death scythes. So this is their primary objective, right? But of course this comes with a catch. Once you collect those 99 souls, you have to collect a witch soul. But the thing is, some of the souls are very deceiving. So let's say you catch a cat soul that looks like a witch soul, you have to start all over again because it has to be exactly 99 human souls and 1 witch soul. So that's what they're trying to do throughout the story. So as they're on their adventures with collecting different souls and encountering a lot of different enemies that come up against them, we get to see Maka and Soul's relationship blossom, like I love this relationship they have because he's always yelling and she's always yelling, but they both like each other, And of course, another scene, there's always these scenes for me. In a scene, Soul gets hurt somehow from some fight and he's in a coma, dream, whatever. And in this dream, he's in a nice fancy restaurant and he's in a tuxedo. And then with him, Maka's there and she's in this beautiful red dress. And they're just talking. I don't know about what, I forgot. But just the fact that he, in his dream, subconsciously envisioned her in this beautiful red dress with him in a restaurant, a very nice restaurant, kind of says a lot about how he feels about her. You could tell he obviously very respects her. I think he is attracted to her no matter what he says. And I think he wants to be with her. And then also with Maka, she's also very level-headed, hot-headed. I don't know if she's a tsundere, but she's very level-headed and hot-headed at the same time. Or maybe she's just always yelling at Soul and she's not hot-headed. It just depends. But when she is fighting, oh my god, when she is fighting, she's kicking butt. Most of these women, it's the fighting. It's the fighting that gets me entranced, gets me wanting to watch them more because it's just so, oh my god, I don't know how to explain it. But she's fighting, right? And then certain times she uses her special final move and it's just so colorful and it's going crazy and she's spinning it around her head, behind her back, and it's just so big. And then, and usually in these scenes she messes up and misses her target or whatever, because she can only use it once or some stipulation like that. And it's just so funny seeing her mess up sometimes and her and Soul are going back at it. But her final move is so cool. And I can't wait until she reaches the level of Weapons Meister because I want her to be in the position her mom once was. Oh, and just quick side note, I did dress up as her for Halloween one year. But I really did an okay job. It was alright. You could tell I was her, but it could have been better. And that's what's going to be. In the future, when I cosplay her, it will be 10 times better. And I can look back at my previous attempt and be like, oh my gosh, I actually grew. I developed. I used different clothes. And I just nailed her 10 times better than before. Next up, my other girl. Oh my god, my goddess, my queen. Can you guess who she is? I bet you can't. Well, since you didn't guess correctly, she's actually Anna from Shaman King. Oh my god. I love this girl. Love her powers. She is so sassy and sarcastic. She's just the definition of goddesshood. Of you cannot break my standards. If you looked up ambition, boundaries, standards, and give me everything I want in the dictionary, you'll see her face plastered all over the page. So in her role in Shaman King, you could say that she is the wife character / love interest, in which she is, because her purpose or role is to marry and be the wife of the Shaman King, in which she wants Yo to be the Shaman King, or Yo's supposed to become the Shaman King. And you can even say that's her goal. And it's not a bad goal at all. Girl, shoot, I would love to be the wife of the Shaman King as well. So as I said before, Yo is supposed to be the Shaman King, or is going to be the Shaman King or whatever. And she is definitely a motivator of Yo. Yo is kind of lazy sometimes, but he's really just a chill dude. But she's always pushing him and motivating him to be better and to fight and to practice to actually become the Shaman King, to reach all his goals, to do what he said he was going to do, and to have this, not world peace, but to create a world that he wants. He has to become the Shaman King, and she definitely sees that potential in him. And another thing about Anna is that even though she is the love interest to Yo and not the main character, she does handle her own in a battle, off the battlefield, at home, with different relationships with different people. She knows who she is, she stands her ground, and she does not let anyone put her down. When you see her enter the scene, oh, you know it's about to be on. Whether there's a battle or a fight because she uses pearl beads, or if it's strategy, or if it's just motivating somebody, or if it's handling her own when she's talking back to a villain. It's like she is really that girl. Like, she's the definition of that girl. Because every time she steps onto a scene, you know she's looking good, right? I love all the clothes she wears. And of course she has to look good because she is the glamorous wife. Of course, she has to keep her stuff together, and that's her own standard. And she's going to make sure that she's the best version of herself. So she really is like, oh my gosh, she's just so amazing. I love her, even though she's not a protagonist of the story. That's why I put her on this list, and she deserves it. So last but not least, oh my god, I love this woman. Can you guess who she is? You can't? Okay, I'll tell you. It is Sasuke Kiryuin from Kill la Kill. Clap it up for her. That is my girl. Oh my god, I love her so much. I love her to death. Okay? But to be honest, at first, I did not like her. Okay? And she did grow on me. But as I got older, I started to realize that Sasuke and I were a lot alike. We were both that older sister A-type personality, and she's me and I am her. That's basically what it is, okay? And really, I felt that way when she gave her, what is it? Pigs don't fly? What speech is it? I forgot the name of the speech, but it's this speech talking her ish, right? And I resonate with oh my god, all that stuff, maybe not all, but like most of the stuff in that speech. That's how I knew she was my girl. Because why are you talking to my soul right now? Why is your speech hitting my soul right now? I don't understand. That's how I knew she was my girl. So something about Sasuke is that she demands respect and does not play with her ambition. Okay? Does not play with her ambition. Oh, that's what it's called. The freedom speech. That's the speech. The speech is the freedom speech. So this speech is so powerful and electrifying. Okay? And I will give you guys a listen.
Ask not the sparrow how the eagle soars! You aspire to nothing more than the shallow thoughts of commoners! I will not allow anyone to beat me to my own ambition! My will is absolute! Nonsense! I won't be ashamed. If it means I can fulfill my ambitions, I will bare my breast for all to see. I will do whatever it takes. For I know that my actions are utterly pure. Fear is freedom. Subjugation is liberation. Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world. And you will all surrender to them. You pigs in human clothing! This is human nature, Matoi. Prosperity leads to greed. Greed leads to their downfall. One taste of a life of affluence and they're enslaved. Slaves to a system which I created. They are nothing more than pigs. Pigs in human clothing. Pigs that must be tamed by...
Sasuke really takes her life seriously and commands respect and obedience, as you can tell. And every time you hear that heel click and turn, you know that's her. Like, I love that heel click, guys. I love that heel click. That is her signature. Okay, because you better listen up because what she has to say is pretty important. I can't wait to cosplay her too because I am that girl. I'm a bad mama jamma when I'm talking about Sasuke Kiryuin because I am her, okay? But in the story, Sasuke is positioned as the immediate bad guy or obstacle to Ryuko. And Sasuke represents control and force, while Ryuko believes in self-autonomy. So, as Sasuke says per her speech, she sees humans as species that are dominated by their desires and enforce no control over their lives. In which she's kind of right. They do. And Sasuke is the type of person to have a I'll believe until you prove me wrong type of mindset. And I kind of agree with that. I mean, I don't see the problem with that. So since Sasuke is the immediate obstacle in the beginning, Rikuo fights with her and her generals until they're quote unquote defeated, right? And then that's when the real bad guys come. And that's just a whole nother arc. Like that's a whole nother arc after they beat Sasuke and the generals. And really I enjoyed Sasuke through that arc too. And another one of my favorite scenes, which I will not spoil, but one of my favorite scenes is when Ryuko is falling from the sky and Sasuke is speed running across the desert just to save her, just to catch her. And I was screaming when I saw that scene, like, oh my god, like, catch her, oh my gosh. And it just makes my heart sing when I watch that scene and you finally understand what was going on and the realization and how much they meant to each other. Oh my god. Peak cinema right there, okay? Peak cinema. But that is it, guys. That is 5 of the best women in shonen anime. And please let me know if you're geeked up for these girls like I am, because you see me over here screaming. You see me screaming. So I have to know what you think. Comment down below. And I actually have a couple more girls of mine, some not even in shonen, that I think are really cool, are really that girl, okay? So if you want to take your guesses down in the comments, go ahead, because I will be reading them, and I'll catch you in the next video.